This morning. I've been attending with my mother and my deceased father, George and Jan Aderton, since 1998. Some of you may remember that when my parents became members of this congregation, it was at the same time that I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. So many of you have actually prayed for me, and I'm grateful that I can be here today. About a month ago, my mother brought me to a Wednesday evening service, and she had really wanted me to meet Reverend Solomon because I too have been to India. I wasn't born there and raised there, but I went there to experience being in an ashram and studying with a master, a guru named Srivast. And so in our conversation about meditation, Reverend Solomon thought it would be a good idea if I came and shared my experience of meditation with you. And I told a funny story that I think is one of the best ideas that we can have about meditation. I've been a student on my spiritual path, I think all of my life. I was fortunate that when I was confirmed, Jim Scorgi, our Methodist minister, because it was the 70s, we did a self-awareness program called Microcosm in our confirmation. So even then in the 70s, I experienced a guided meditation and self-awareness activities. I studied at Northern Illinois University anthropology, and I went to California thinking that I was going to become a university professor. But they say that man plans and God creates, and I discovered metaphysics and the New Age. It was the 80s. And so I got on my spiritual path in a different way, and I learned about guided meditation and developing intuition and being able to really be more aware of what is possible for us as humans to know. And I began teaching as early as 26. And I was invited then to speak at a World Healing Congress in New Zealand. I was one of 66 speakers from around the world, and I was the youngest at 27. It was the gathering of the Second World Congress of Healers for Peace. And one of the organizers' son was there. He was all of 6 years old. And there was a teepee on the university campus. It was at Waikato University in Hamilton. And Sancha wanted to spend the night in the teepee. So I, of course, volunteered to be the person to be the adult sleeping with him in the teepee. It was there for people to come and to pray and to meditate. And early in the morning, a gentleman came in and woke us up. He was there to pray and meditate. And Sancha, being a 6-year-old, was like a little bird when he woke up. He was chattering and talking about the day and his excitement. And the man got very gruff with us and said to him, "Little boy, do you know the difference between prayer and meditation?" And Sancha, in all of his innocence, said, "Why, yes, sir. Prayer is when you ask God for help, and meditation is when God answers." It is our listening that helps us in our relationship to God. We like to have a conversation, and when we have conversations with people, we like to be able to both express ourselves and to be heard. So in the relationship to God, it's the same thing. God doesn't want us to have a monologue. God isn't there to be just the listener of our prayers, our concerns, our wishes, our hopes, and our desires. God is there to actually answer those questions and those desires. We have ideas that meditation is in the Hindu tradition or the Buddhist tradition where you sit and you're quiet and you have a mudra. But in a Christian way of meditation, it's basically contemplation. It's giving up that conversation for a little while to quiet our minds. And this can be done sitting, gardening, washing dishes, It doesn't have to be in a position where we're not moving. Even the sages and the monks and the priests have meditation gardens and meditation paths. On the floor of Chartres Cathedral in France, there's a labyrinth, which is a meditation path. Have any of you ever walked a labyrinth? So you know in that experience that on the way in, we're letting things go. In the center of the meditation path, we're listening. And on the way out, we're embracing what we want to embrace. So I thought this morning that we would experience together a short guided meditation. This is not just about me speaking, but it's an opportunity for me to share a little bit of the ways of meditation through a guided imagery. So I'd like you to take a deep breath and close your eyes. Imagine light coming down from heaven and opening your heart as if it was a seed, and seeing roots out of that seed coming down through your body and into the earth. You are a tree that connect heaven and earth. Feeling the earth welcome your roots, seeing those roots go down through to tap into water below. Feel the nourishment of that water coming into your roots and up through your tree as your tree reaches toward heaven. Feeling the branches stretching and the wind gentle. Feeling the sunlight coming down on your leaves or your pine needles. Nourishing your tree in the photosynthesis process. And in the quiet stillness of the tree. Listen now for a message. Be still and know that I am God. Bringing your attention back into this room, feeling more full, more loved, and more loving. When we're listening to God, God fills our minds with ideas, with hope, with understanding, and with compassion. If we're busy having a conversation and just chattering in our minds, when is it that we're going to hear what's going to inspire us, what's going to help motivate us, what's going to fill us with a sense that we are connected to something greater than ourselves? All the world traditions I look at as wells, different ways that we all tap into the same river. Christianity is an important well because it gives us our relationship to Jesus. The ideas and concepts of the Christ teach us that unconditional love is the way and the presence that allows us to be forgiving, to be compassionate, to be devoted. It's those virtues that I call the mechanics of love. If I didn't see compassion or experience compassion, if I didn't have forgiveness or be forgiven, how would I know what love is? It's through our integrity, through our patience, through our kindness. It's those ways that give us the opportunity to be the servants of God. where we're able to actually give to others what we want for ourselves. Do unto others. Meditation for me is a time for me to quiet myself so that I can listen. Because I want to be able to hear in a way that then I can take action that can be in service to greater good. It gives us an opportunity to be those messengers that we're meant to be. This is a time in our world where we're given lots of places to give our attention. I call it the noise. Social media, the radio, music, television can keep our minds busy, but we need to give our minds a break so that God can fill that mind. I hope that all of you are able to take a moment throughout the course of your day where you're not just praying, but you're meditating too, that you're having that two-way conversation that God really wants us to have. Thanks for listening. It's your superpower.